Hi, this is Jack. We have just completely upgraded our search feature, and so I wanted to give a little tutorial to show some of you how to use it properly. It's very, very multidimensional and it's pretty cool, so let's check it out. Click the Pedigrees tab, and we're talking about the dog search feature, not the breeding search feature. So let's go to the dog search engine. And you'll notice there's quite a bit of different fields here. The reason why there's different fields here is we have separate data tables for every single aspect of what it is to put a dog together. Okay, now you can just put the name, if you want to look up Poncho or Bolio or whatever, you can do that. But you can also do some pretty cool things like, let's say, search for all the grand champions on the database. Just put in grand champion, click submit, and you get all of the grand champions that have been entered into the database. And this is 100 rows per page. You can customize this as well. It's 100 rows, and there's 500 grand champions have been entered into this database. Suppose you wanted to narrow it down though. Okay, 5-time winner. What about 7-time winner? Okay, you click submit, and now you've narrowed it down quite a bit. You've got a page. 65 dogs have won 7 times or more that are also grand champions. Okay, so there's a lot of cool ways to do things. How about grand champions that are also red noses? Now we have quite a few less. Okay, each time you click one of these features, you're going to narrow down your search. Let's clear it out. When you have nothing in, you have nothing out. That's the way it is. You put in, let's say you want to go, well, I want to find my dog named Red. I'm going to put in Red. Okay, if you put in the name Red, looking for your doggy, you're going to come to the realization that there are almost 2,200 dogs with the name Red somewhere in their pedigree. So you're going to have to search smart, and you're going to have to really understand that the more you put in here, the more focused your search is going to be. So let's say I want to find Lady in Red. I'm looking for Patrick's Lady in Red, bred by Patrick, owned by Hollingsworth. When I click in Lady in Red, in this case, that's enough information. I've found other Lady in Reds, but because only so few have been put in here, we can find the appropriate Lady in Red. But you can also narrow it down by putting in, let's say, Hollingsworth, who's the owner. So when you search, there's only one dog named Lady in Red that was owned by Hollingsworth. The whole point of this, all of this customizable, these customizable fields, is to do this, to search exactly for what you're looking for in many different ways. So let's clear it out again. Here's another example. Let's say I want to find STP's Grand Champion Buck. So I put in the dog's name, Buck. I click submit, and I think, wow, there's a lot of bucks. There are a lot of bucks. There's 390 dogs with the name Buck somewhere in the pedigree. And then I think, well, hell, he's a grand champion. That should narrow it down. So we add the criteria of being a grand champion named Buck, and we're going to narrow this down quite a bit. Boom, 7 dogs. From Evolution's Macho Buck down to Undertaker's Red Buck, there are only 7 dogs that qualify having both the name Buck and being a grand champion. Suppose I want to narrow it down even further and say, how about 7-time winners named Buck? Now when I click, there are only 2. There's STP's Buck and there's Undertaker's Red Buck. So the point of all of this is you can really customize and tailor your searches, not just to find a particular dog, but to give you some feedback. Let me show you how. Let's clear this away. Suppose I want to find the dogs that are champions that were bred by Garner. I just type in Garner under the breeder, champion, click submit, and now I can find the dogs that are champions bred by Garner that have been properly entered in this database. I can do the same thing for Patrick. I can do the same thing for Crenshaw. Okay, nobody's put in the name. Oops, I misspelled it. It always helps if you, and that's where, hey, even the owner of this database makes mistakes. Let's try this again. We've got the dogs that Crenshaw's bred that have become champion, etc., etc. So suppose I want to remove this and find the champions that are female that also have a red nose. Okay, you can really stack and configure this to find any type of data that you want just by thinking about it. So now I'm going to search here. And our database has 38 dogs that are champions, females with red noses. There's probably more, but because some of you don't enter on all the data, you can't figure that out. Let's say black nose. Now we have another database. We've got 194 champions that are black nose and female. Okay, so you can search by country, by where it was born, by where it lives. You can search in any number of ways. You can find, let's say, champions that are POR. Let's remove this criteria. I want to find the number of champions that are also producers of record. You're going to get back different data. This is the coolest, broadest, and most customizable search engine that anybody has, and really by a country mile. So go ahead and use it, experiment with it, have some fun. You can search just not only for champions by breeder, champions by owner, but you can also find some interesting data about dogs, their color, their genetics, everything like that. So hope you've enjoyed the tutorial, and that will do it.